Ghosty Fam. Welcome to the Activity Continuous podcast. If you're new here, we are friends and soul sisters who recap episodes of the TV show The Dead Files, and we talk about other good shit as well as mundane stuff about our lives. I'm Amy.
And I'm Megan. Thanks again for joining us. This week, Amy is recapping the Dead Files episode called Death and Dolls. It is from season 1 and it's episode 4. And it originally aired October 14th, 2011. And Amy, why don't you tell us why you chose this episode? Because it's fun.
Yeah. So one of our listeners, her name is
Lisha.
Lisha.
I'm not sure. Sorry if we're pronouncing it wrong.
I should have asked her ahead of time. But she suggested that we cover this one because she thought we would have some thoughts.
And
how she said it.
She was correct.
Correct.
We have
lots of thoughts. Yeah. So we're doing a little different this time. So I asked Megan she doesn't normally watch when I present. She doesn't normally watch the episode. So she's going, oh,
yeah. I'm running with you guys. Or if I've seen it, odds are I've forgotten about it. So I'm still going with you. And it's legit.
Yeah. Yeah. But this time I asked her to watch it so that we could kind of, I'll still
Amy,
but she's going to pipe in
when like I do
thoughts.
Just now. Like Amy's still the quote unquote main presenter, but oofta is all I'm going to say about this one because there's a lot to unpack here. So I hope you guys brought your organizing because we have a lot to unpack.
Oh dear. So we are sitting at the bar. We're just having some wine.
Oh my God. It's really good wine. Mine,
you're having the Georgia. So she's having the Beaujolais Nouveau.
Nailed it.
Thank you. Also France. That's what my 3 years of Duolingo has done for me.
It's really good.
Our house at Christmas.
It's real good.
And then I'm having this. This is from Wink, I believe. This is a rare purple blend.
The bottle's pretty. Is it good?
I don't know yet.
All right. Well,
I grabbed it because it says purple on it. I like purple.
that's how I choose sports teams. Except not purple.
Sports.
Your favorite. You love them all.
I'm wearing purple. Right now.
Me too. Look at that. We didn't even coordinate. My earrings are purple because I made them.
Oh, cute. So, other things. I've noticed that you guys like our circle chat. Too bad the circles are over.
I know.
We should have been doing those the whole time.
It was such a good season.
We have those conversations anyway. We should have just.
It's true. It's usually in real time, and Amy's. Although I did do a spoiler this year because I honestly thought Amy was because she's usually really ahead of me.
This year I've been bad. I forget that it's
and
on.
Then I told her that one of the characters went home and she was like, "Oh, good, I didn't like him." And I was like,
"Yeah." Her next message was, "Oh, sorry. How far along are you?" And I'm like, "That's okay."
That was a little bit of a backwards order. How far along are you? I'm not where you just said. So, thanks.
Okay. Good riddance.
He was a douche.
Yeah, he was.
Then he came back at the end, like they all do, and still trying to.
Oh, and still like hitting on and it's like trying to get.
I know.
Raven to forgive them.
Marvin,
talking about
Marvin, the douche canoe of the century.
I like him.
Yeah, and then of course he was like hitting on Billie Jean because she's gorgeous.
She is gorgeous,
and she
looks
Bruno.
like a Spice Girl.
Oh, I love her. Yeah, she's drop dead gorgeous.
Yeah, she's beautiful, and that accent. Ooh,
to die for.
She's a hottie.
I know.
Sorry, I'm not jealous.
No, they all seemed really nice.
Yeah, they did, and they had a good time.
There was really nobody in the season that I honestly hated aside from Marvin.
Yeah.
But I started out liking him.
I did too.
And then he just turned into a dick.
And he was like, "I apologized. Everything should be fine."
That's not how it works, bro.
You want, as long as you apologize, and then you're
and then it's okay. That's not how life works.
That's not how it works.
And Raven, she accepted his apology. Mm-hmm. She just didn't forgive him.
Yeah.
And I don't blame her.
I don't blame her either.
Yeah.
She would never be able to trust him if they were to date. No way.
So. She deserved better.
She did.
Yeah.
Anyway. So also another thing I want to clarify. When I say it, because I'm afraid that there is a very small chance that Amy Allan will ever hear any of these or hear my voice calling her my bestie. And I just want everybody to know that's a joke. We are not best friends.
Never met her.
Never met her.
If we did meet her, she'd probably be like,
She'd probably like dolly down.
Yeah. We'd have to be removed by security. For sure. For sure. And for sure.
For sure. Oh, that's right. We have accents.
Oh, yeah.
That was another thing that Lisha said. She's like, she posted something on Twitter about us. And she's like, and she tagged Amy Allan. And she said, I love Amy and Megan. They're so funny, blah, blah, blah. And I love those accents. And I wrote her back, haha, thank you. Wait, we have accents.
Wait, for sure.
Yeah.
When I was in the Middle East and I would talk to my mom, my accent would get super strong. Like, oh, yeah, mom. Oh, okay. Yeah, great. Oh, yeah. Yeah. And my friend would always laugh at me. And she was, because, she was not from the Midwest.
Right. Yeah.
So, yeah, I can hear it too when my accent gets really thick, then I can hear it.
Yeah.
When I'm like, oh, gosh. Yeah.
Every once in a while, I'm like, oh, was I just doing a thing from Fargo there?
Oofda. Oofda.
Oofda, my.
Oop. Just gonna sneak past ya. I'm gonna scooch past ya. Grab some ranch. Do other places in the country love ranch as much as the Midwest?
I don't think so.
Because it is like
it's Minnesota sauce.
It's a staple here.
It's everywhere. I don't think you'd find a kitchen. Well, I will tell you that for my work, I often order business lunches from my boss, and I have to call the restaurant and ask, place the order. And
that's how you order.
That's how it works, kids, if you've never done that before. And I want you to know how terrifying it is for me to have to pick up the phone and call these people. But I've done it so many times that I'm like, hey, it's Amy. And they know me right away.
Oh, good.
Nice.
Good.
So they're super cool. They know where, they don't have to ask for the address again and all that nonsense. They're really cool. Anyway, great restaurant, D'Amico and Sons.
Okay.
Awesome. They do not have ranch. Because some of our people have ordered it when they order a salad. They want, they have a Cobb salad, but they don't have a ranch.
Really?
And so every once in a while I'll forget, and I'll say they want a Cobb salad with ranch. Like, we don't have it. I'm like,
they've got to say that. I mean, why wouldn't I? Will say though, I'm not a huge ranch fan, but you get a good restaurant homemade ranch, takes it to another level.
It really does.
Takes it to all day long.
And by homemade, we don't mean milk and the packet.
Yeah.
Actually, I have a recipe for homemade ranch. I don't believe I've ever made it.
Solid buttermilk ranch. Oh, for days.
It's really good.
For days.
It's delicious.
I don't know. I just went, Staten Island.
Now
on
we're going east.
It's the wrong accent.
So yeah, I wanted to say that about Amy. Yeah, we're not best friends. Whatever. It's just a joke.
So nobody think that.
Famous people who pay me the slightest bit of attention. And also, from what I said last week, Paul Rudd is not really my boyfriend. He is married, so I just think he's chatty.
Disclaimer, John Stamos, if you listen, I 1,000% would leave my husband for you. 1,000%. You don't even need, blink at me and I'll leave him. Blink. He knows. My husband knows.
Yeah, well,
I told him.
I have, if Paul Rudd were ever to waltz into my life, I do have carte blanche.
I feel like James Spader would be another one for you.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, Greg has to know.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, John Stamos, if you're listening.
Yeah.
Message Amy. She'll get you my digits.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll pass that along. So speaking of my bestie, I was looking at her Twitter today and she got hurt.
Amy?
Yeah, Amy Allan.
What happened?
She was at an Airbnb and she slipped and fell. Or maybe she tripped and fell. I don't know. She fell and broke her leg.
Oh my God.
And she was in the hospital and they did not take care of her the way they were supposed to. She ended up having to move to a different ER and now she's having surgery.
Oh my God.
The whole thing, her leg shattered, I guess.
Oh my gosh.
Really bad. She showed pictures of herself in the hospital bed and she's all smiling, but she's in a lot of pain.
She's so brave.
I know. And she said she can't take pain meds except for Tylenol because she has allergies.
Oh,
and so
God.
she's just dealing with the pain of a broken leg.
And I'm sure Tylenol, what's that going to do?
Tylenol does absolutely.
That's like putting a Band-Aid on an amputated limb.
Yeah.
It's not going to do much.
For me anyway. So hopefully it works for her. But yeah. Anyway, those are the updates that I've got. So we should probably just get right in here.
Yeah.
So the warning I have is just creepy dolls.
A lot of creepy dolls.
War. They talk about war and plagues. And
Yes.
I don't think there's anything else in this
I don't think so.
saying something else that is
and then Amy will just ad-lib, override it, say it, over talk it, whatever. You guys know.
Yeah.
She'll do it.
I don't do that very often because I find it annoying when people do, but sometimes I'm like, I can just tell the people are like, that's not the right thing. And then I feel like I have to.
Usually it's like Amy, our friend Amy, will be like shouting at it, and Amy will be like,
she'll just text us. Yeah.
It's a disturbance in the force.
And Amy will be like, I'm listening to your podcast. The word you were looking for is.
She does too. And we're like, yes. That's the word.
I know. Someday we should just have her be like with us and have her edit. Like she could be our Steve.
She'll just be sitting here like on her phone, and every now and then she'll chime in and be like, the word is sachet, Bob. Sachet is the word you're looking for. And like get really close to the mic. Yeah. So like
it's nice and close up.
Yeah.
Yeah. If we actually had a studio and not sitting at this bar with weird sound in my tweeting furnace back there, I would do that in a heartbeat if I had the equipment.
The last time I was here, I legit asked if she got a bird.
We call that Tweety. Like Tweety's loud today.
I was like, did you get a bird?
I don't know if you guys will be able to hear it. I hope not.
I hope not.
I turned the zoom down so that it's it doesn't pick up slight noises, because the laptop you're on is my old one and it's loud. It's got a loud fan, and so like when I was testing it earlier, I could hear like all the way through it.
Shoot.
So we'll see.
Yeah.
Anywho,
Godspeed. Good luck.
We are in Creamerton, North Carolina. And this, the client is Lisa. And I noted that Steve calls her Lisa, because you know what this accent. And her husband, John. And their experiences are apparitions. I did it again. I said that last time too. Apparitions and noises.
I have lots of thoughts on Lisa.
Oh.
And she's not many of them are good.
She's a piece of work, I tell you.
She's so
So they show Amy meditating outside the home and Matt cleaning the location. And this is an early one, remember, season 1. So this is early.
Not as refined as.
Yeah. And they're still explaining to us how things work and stuff like that. Amy explains that, even before they show her at the place, she explains how Steve's going to do research on the home, and then she's going to do a walk and all that.
Yeah.
So, as she's outside, she says that somebody pushed her, and she says someone else got pushed in the back of the head really, really, really hard. So now we're going to Steve. He knocks on the door. Lisa opens the door. It's all super awkward. She's like trying to shake his hand, hold the door. He's trying to pull the door. It was very weird. I don't know why.
It's like there were steps leading up. So like she's high and he's already short. So he's
already twimpy.
And you could tell it was so rehearsed.
Really?
Like, so awkward.
Should have done it a few more times because it was super awkward.
Yeah. They're like, should we redo this? They're like, no, we don't got time.
No, we've already done it 17 times. And
hard.
Like
we're on a time crunch.
This is the best take we got.
Yeah, that's
I imagine that there were a lot of awkward moments in this episode because of this lady.
Because of her dolls. Anyways.
So Steve knocks on the door. She welcomes in and says,
"This is my house of dolls."
And the look on Steve's face.
I know. It was like,
I tried to get a screenshot. I tried to take a picture with my phone, and my phone doesn't react quick enough it's like I push the button and then it goes,
I'm going to
click. So I missed it.
I'm just going to throw this at you.
Okay.
There's pause.
Oh, I know. But then there's a big arrow in the middle.
I know. I'm just being a bitch.
I know. It's okay. I do it. I usually do it that way with a pie.
But seriously, he was like,
I know he was like,
and he even says later in the episode, this is freaking me out.
Yeah.
Same Steve. I'll make a shirt that says same Steve.
Yeah.
Because I say that every episode.
You do.
And you do too. I don't.
Somebody does. One of us does. You do for sure. But to say, if you haven't seen this episode, first of all, I say, go watch it because it's
a good one. It's entertaining.
It's very entertaining.
It's a trip. That's a really good way to put it.
But if you haven't seen it, to say that this lady has some dolls is the understatement of the year.
It's like saying the ocean has some water.
Yeah.
And they're
Because-
not like Cabbage Patch dolls.
No.
They're like
creepy dolls.
1930s dolls.
They're creepy dolls.
Hard plastic dolls.
Yeah. And they're all over. The kind with like the eyes that go
Yeah.
like this with the eyelashes and the.
And like when you lay them down, their eyes
Yeah.
close and you sit them up and they open. And they're everywhere. She literally has, I think she said, over 2,000 dolls.
Yes. Yeah.
So like she said, where there's open space, there's a doll.
Yeah. Yeah. So there was no open space.
So there's no.
Hardly any room for people to walk
Yeah.
around. It was really.
Oh my God, it was
Terrifying.
and
So in the house is Lisa, and her husband Johnny and their 9-year-old daughter Salem.
Mhm.
And I'm thinking, you named your kid Salem and you don't expect her to have like weird ideas.
I loved Salem.
I did too.
I-
She was a cute girl. She was a smart girl.
She's gonna be her own person, and I like you can just tell she's gonna do what Salem wants to do
Yeah.
and fuck
good for
everybody
her,
else.
'cause-
Yes.
Yeah.
I loved her so
Yeah.
much. She seemed like an old soul.
She was only 9 years old. She
Yeah.
seemed a lot more mature.
She
than
seemed
that.
like just like it. I don't know how else to put it. Like I just got the feeling that
Yeah.
she was like an old soul.
Yeah. Well, I think when we find out more about her, I think that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
So she says that she sees a little girl playing in her closet,
Mhm.
and she, this is not talking to Salem yet. This is still Lisa telling Steve about Salem.
Lisa.
So Salem saw a little girl playing in her closet. She says Salem is very interested in war, plagues, and death, and has brought home library books on the subject. Lisa thinks her daughter's obsession with it is weird. Yeah.
Mhm.
And so she says,
Brings home books from the library on World War II and yellow fever epidemics, and she's very interested in war and death.
Really?
And I got to really, stop her on some of the things she's interested in. I'm like, no, that's all you can see of this. And it's just, I don't know, kind of weird.
All right.
and I'm like,
Says the pot.
hold on. I wrote hot meat kettle.
Yeah.
And I also wrote define weird, because apparently having 2,000 dolls in your home is not weird.
And you know what? Weird is a social construct anyway. Like what's
Sure. Some things I think are weird.
Yeah.
Megan might not, vice versa.
vice
whatever.
versa.
But-
I love sharks. People might think that's weird.
Not like 2,000 dolls in your house, weird.
You
Just
have
an
not seen my room.
Take a picture. I'll put it on the socials.
Just kidding. No, but and like she's got room, like you were just saying, she has 2,000 creepy ass fucking dolls.
Mhm.
Don't sit there and tell Salem or talk about Salem that she's weird.
Yeah. It's just, no, she's not weird. She's just interested in history.
She has a passion.
Mhm.
Why is that bad?
Mhm.
She's not out doing meth.
Right.
Could be worse.
Although, someone could say, why are we coming down on Lisa? She has a passion too. But
It's explained later.
Yeah.
I personally, I'm not coming down on her for the dolls. I'm coming down on her for how she acts later in the episode.
yeah. Well, and the fact that even poor Salem's room is covered in dolls,
Covered in dolls.
and that's not her jam.
No. She even says,
So anyway, so Amy, then we're looking at Amy now. Whoa, I scrolled too much. It wasn't
Whoa,
too
we're at
so I
Amy.
kept hitting it. And
whoa, Amy.
No, we are at her. I was starting to read it. No, it
Mhm.
went bloop,
Yep.
disappeared. Amy comes up the stairs looking at all the dolls, and she's like, yeah, okay,
Yeah, she goes, my goodness.
that's interesting.
Yeah. Just a lot of dolls. Which are creepy. Dolls are creepy. My goodness. Oh my. My goodness. Dolls were originally vessels for the dead, so that the dead could be within the dolls, because the dolls are hollow shells. Yeah, they were vessels made for the dead.
They're hollow shells that people are trapped in the dolls and want to leave. And then she says, oh my, a few more times. And then she says how dolls can attract souls that haven't moved on yet.
Mhm. Because they look like people,
Mm-hmm.
but they're hollow. So ghosts can inhabit them because there's nothing in there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
She says that there's a little girl in the closet,
Mm-hmm.
and the little girl tells Amy that they want something bad to happen. And the little girl's giggling. And Matt asks if she has tried to make bad things happen. Amy says yes. And then she's listening. Amy's like listening to the little ghost. And then Matt knows that she's doing that. And so he's like, well, what did she say? And Amy's just wringing her hands. And she said that they don't like the people who live here.
Oh, shit.
So now, how to pay that light bill? So it was just this refrigerator goes on and then the lights go dark. So now Steve is in Salem's room talking to her, and he's mostly concerned about her. And she sees and hears whatever more than anybody else in the house.
Because she has abilities.
She says she's the only one in the house who has seen any paranormal activity.
Mm-hmm.
Salem said she saw a lady came up to her in her bed and she felt the pressure on the bed, and they spoke to each other, but she doesn't remember what they said.
Yeah. And she's not scared of them.
No, she's not. And Steve asked if it's scary.
Yeah.
And she's like, no, I almost felt calm.
Yeah.
while
She
speaking
said
to
at
her.
first, when she first started to see him, and I think she said she was around 7 and she's 9.
Oh, right. Yes. Because when she wrote, she was scared when she was younger. But when she reached the ripe old age of 7, she realized that ghosts cannot harm you, only the living.
Which I thought was so creepy for a 9-year-old to know that.
I know.
But like, so true.
I know.
Ghosts can't hurt you.
Yeah, well,
Well,
I mean, sometimes they throw people down the stairs. I just watched another one today.
They give you heart attacks.
Heart
attacks.
I watched another one today that
Oh, really?
Yeah, that where someone got thrown across the room and by a ghost. And also somebody had a heart attack. And she said it that way too.
She always says heart attack that way.
So Steve asks her about her interest in World War II, and she says that Mom started watching movies about Anne Frank, and she found that interesting. So she got some books and started reading about it.
Mm-hmm.
And I just want to know, I was also obsessed with Anne Frank when I was about her age. I think in school we read the diary.
Yep.
And I was just so like, I was not interested in any other part of the war. Like I didn't get into like war history or anything, but her story and, you know, of course, everything they did to the Jews was.
There's not a word for it.
No, I mean, it's horrific, but it was fascinating to me and I wanted to know everything.
Mm-hmm.
So Steve then speaks to Salem's father, John, and he talks about concern over what Salem has seen. Dad is also very concerned.
The only one who doesn't seem to be concerned is Lisa.
Yeah, she doesn't really seem to be that concerned.
Except
or
about her
she
dolls.
is, and she doesn't want to know why it's happening. You know what I mean?
She's not concerned. She's concerned about her doll.
Yeah, she is concerned about her dolls. So Amy hears lots of voices, lots of talking, and lots of spirits, and she's acting really weird. Megan and I talked about this earlier. She's acting like really squirrely.
Yeah.
Her voice gets all funny, and she's doing a lot of things. So with her,
and like
playing with her. Yeah, and acting like there's something in her hair. She's trying to wipe it off. It was bizarre. I don't recall.
It was weird.
Amy act like that before. I don't know if that was her reacting to the ghost or if she was jumped and that was what one of the spirits was doing. It was kind of hard to tell. But at any rate, she was kind of imitating the ghosts at one point. And she was trying to like talking like them, and she was doing all these weird goofy places.
You know, there's people laying down here, and I don't know about that. I don't know about that.
How many?
Anyway, she said they're trying to tell them to leave, trying to tell the team to leave, and maybe even the woman. She said she hears someone saying you need to leave because it's not safe, and she says she thinks it's because so many people died around here. And now Amy's in the basement, and she says she felt death and disease, and the bodies are just stacked up down there. She saw an evil man torturing a girl. He's got a black hat, black jacket, black slacks, and he's doing weird things to this girl.
like poking at her.
Yeah. And Amy gets a really bad pain in her head. And she says it has to do with the guy poking the girl. But the girl goes, she was talking to that spirit, and the girl said it didn't hurt. And Amy's like, well, that's weird because it hurts me. So now we're back to Steve, and he's talking, he's doing research, and he found out that in 1946, the Creamerton Mill was built, and he's speaking with Larry Nichols. He's a man who wrote a book about the history of the town. And the part they live in is considered Old Town. And it was built to support the families of the people who worked at the mill.
Mhm.
And he said there was a plague in the area 1902 to 1903, and most of the town people died. And the infected were living in a segregated area called a pest house. And they're not saying necessarily that this house was the pest house,
Mhm.
because I don't think this house is that.
But it was in the area
It was
that
in
the
the
pest
area,
house was
yeah.
in.
And then they go back to Amy, and she's still being goofy, and she's saying, I don't know about all that. And playing with her hair, and she's imitating people being sick and hunched over.
Mhm.
And she says some don't have shoes or any clothing on, and they're cold and it's sad, and there's not a building here. So they're outside. And she
Mhm.
said all of them are dying.
Probably not good.
No. Well, then they go back to Steve, and he's learning about another epidemic when the Native Americans lived here.
Shocker.
Yeah, right. And that could be the one Amy's seeing.
Because they're outside.
Yeah, because they're outside. And also, I don't know. It looks like that was, well, I don't know. Was that smallpox? I'm confused.
For what?
Which of were they both the plagues, smallpox plagues, or was one of them something else? I don't recall them saying what anything else was.
I don't think they said
But
it.
smallpox isn't, you're not going to get a stomach ache. It's a skin rash.
That might be dysentery.
Yeah, it could have been something else that Amy was noticing. But
Yeah.
anyway, so he's talking to Dr. Alan May. Steve asked him about the pest house, and he says it was a quarantine area, mostly for smallpox, and people were disfigured. And I wasn't sure what smallpox was, so I looked it up.
Mhm.
And it is a rash that can create permanent scarring. And it's eradicated now, but it says before that it was a serious infectious disease caused by the variola virus. It was contagious, meaning it spread from one person to another. People who had smallpox had fever and a distinctive progressive skin rash. And so I made the mistake of Googling.
Don't do it. You Googled pictures,
image
didn't you?
part. Mhm.
Mm-mm.
Don't do that.
Don't do that.
Do that. I know a bunch of you are doing that right now.
Yeah.
Just,
We tried to warn you.
It's really gross. So now we're in the backyard now. Amy is walking around outside, and she says there are even more dead people outside, mostly around the perimeter of the yard. So she's walking out there, and she goes, this is really weird. There are people crawling out of the earth, and they don't look good.
Mhm.
They're Native American. So this is going to be that plague, I'm assuming. She sees them walking down into the earth, and then people coming out and walking away.
Mhm.
And Matt asks for some clarification, and she says it's like they're getting sucked into the earth. And then she says, it's kind of freaking me out a little.
That would freak me out.
So she's walking around the back, and she's now closer to the house. You can see the house right behind her. And she says dead people are everywhere here. A man came up trying to touch her. He's He's super tall, long arms and long legs. He looks like a mortician would. And this guy scares her. He
Mhm.
keeps prodding women. He's poking and cutting women. So now Steve is still talking to Dr. May, and he says that they used the river to dispose of the remains of the sick people. And now digging a little deeper and more on the pest houses, he says 400 people were in these houses out of only 4,000 people in the town. That's a pretty high percentage.
Yeah.
So now we're at the sketches, and Amy talks to the sketch person, and she wants to draw the whole person at the step face. And this is the mortician. And she seems to be really guiding the artist more in this one. I thought it was cool because he would like write something or draw something, and she'd say, oh, it's a little more like,
Yeah.
or he'd say, how about, does this look right? And she'd say, a little bit.
It was
like that."
more of an actual sketch rather than,
Yeah.
her just saying, or the cartoon of
The cartoons we saw
a
that.
5-year-old face with weird teeth.
So Steve is really concerned. Oh, sorry. We're still back at the sketch. It's fun. I noted to see that the sketch is kind of coming to life. They do show us some of it as he's drawing it.
Mhm.
And I thought that was kind of
That
cool.
was neat. Yeah.
It is fun when it's like boom, boom, and it's really scary. But this is cool too.
It was, they both have their
Yeah.
pros and cons.
Right. So the artist, when he's finished, he says, how does that like? How does that look? And she just nods. So none of this, is that what you said?
Is that what you saw?
Yeah.
Yes. That's what I saw. Okay. Not rehearsed.
No. So Steve is really concerned about Salem, and he decides that he is going to break the rules and meet with Amy.
Because he feels like it's out of his depth because she's got abilities and Steve doesn't.
Yeah. And he knows that Amy can help her.
Yeah.
So, and then they have a voiceover of Amy. She talks about how when she was a child, she was obsessed with Lizzie Borden and
Frank. Yep.
So I thought this scene was so cool with Amy talking to Salem.
I loved it so much.
I did too. I really wish they would let Amy talk to the clients more, especially when they're kids that are experiencing new abilities like this. It was really sweet. Amy was really sweet with her. Yeah.
And what I loved is that she was honest with her.
Yeah.
Because, the girl at one point, Salem asks her, are there, she goes, do you know, are there bad entities? And it was like, yeah. But she was so good because she was like, just like there are good and bad people, there are good and bad spirits.
Yes.
And it was like, I just loved how she was so honest with her. She didn't bullshit her. She wasn't like, no, they're all good.
Yeah. Well, she knows. I mean, you can't bullshit someone who sees it,
Right.
So
I love, you're right. She was just so genuine with her. And I think Amy was so genuine because Amy didn't have that growing up, which is what she said.
Yeah.
She didn't have anybody to kind of initiate her into this life. She just kind of had to
she kind of had, I think at first she kind of had to pretend like nothing was happening because people thought she was weird.
Yeah.
She does say, I want to ask you how you feel about having all these dolls. And the little girl says, they get in your way and they get on your nerves. So she doesn't want those fucking dolls in her room. Jesus Christ.
I know. They're literally all over the house. We're not exaggerating.
No, it's hideous. So Salem asks Amy if she's ever seen anything bad. She says yes. And I'm thinking, right outside your bedroom window.
Right.
Because Amy was just out there seeing the mortician. Amy's explains how, it's okay. And that, when Amy tells her that she sees good dead people too, Salem starts crying. She's like, yeah. So Salem says that she prays when she gets scared, and that seems to help. And Amy says, good. That's good that you know how to protect yourself.
Yeah.
It really does work.
Yeah.
So now,
and I don't think she's pushing Christianity.
No,
I think she's pushing
to anything.
Anything. Yeah. Any kind of higher power that you believe in to protect you.
Yeah. Yeah. It doesn't have to be.
It doesn't have to be Jesus or God. It can be Buddha or,
the big blue spaghetti monster. Whatever works for you.
I want a blue spaghetti monster. I'm hungry.
So at the table this is a reveal. At the table is John, Lisa, Amy, Steve. The house was built in 1900 and there was a mill here. Steve's explaining all this and the research. He says the research he didn't really come up with didn't match anything that they saw.
Right.
They didn't have the experiences that the family had. Now, granted, they did not have a ton of experiences. Amy sure did, but they really did.
And Salem. But their parents don't.
Yeah, they really didn't. So Steve talks about how they would throw the bodies in the river, and Amy is just like,
that makes a lot of sense. Yep.
Yeah. And they show the clip of her talking about the people being sucked into the water and coming back out. And she says that she thinks the mass disposal of those bodies harmed their souls.
Yeah, which I don't see how it couldn't have. Yeah.
Steve talks about the plagues, and then they cut to the clip of Amy talking about the people being stacked. And she says there's a lot of dead in this area. And she then says, I did a sketch. I don't think she actually said that, but she pulls out the sketch and Amy took out the sketch. Steve didn't have it. Amy pulled out the sketch and showed it to her. And it's the...
he looks like he has a pig nose.
Oh, yeah, that one. Okay. I've done some... We're stacking up episodes a little bit here, so I watched like 3 in a row. And I can't see them all. Okay, yeah. So, yeah, he's in a cape kind of a thing, or no, not a cape. He's in like a suit,
but it looks like he was a
suit with really wide,
like very pointy not soldiers, shoulders.
Yeah, and it's just like a straight cut, and then pants, and then he's wearing a bolero hat on.
Yeah, like very flat, straight brim, shallow hat.
Yeah.
It's not,
and he has, a weird pig nose. That's kind of...
It is very weird, pig nose.
Yeah. Okay.
He almost sort of looks like, now that I'm looking at him, he's got the same build as the ghost as Frank. My ghost.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
And Frank had longer hair like that.
Really?
Hmm? Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Did you ever have Frank drawn or draw him?
Because I didn't get a really good look at him. I just saw the silhouette.
Uh-huh.
Because as soon as I paid attention to him and blinked, then he went away.
Oh. He was scared. He's shy.
He was shy.
So, yeah. So Steve talks about the pest houses and shows a photo of those plague doctors look like. And you guys have probably all seen them. They have like the bird beak kind of mask, and they're like all their skin is covered in that so that they don't
black,
catch anything.
long trench coats and
layers and layers of dark things, and I don't think they have a hood, but a hat. Everything's covered.
Everything's covered, so they wouldn't catch anything.
Right. And then these big long
like bird beaks.
Faces. It looks like a bird beak.
Yeah.
And that's also they say that they were hoping that would prevent the doctor from tracking the disease, but I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Anyway, and then they all have these like sticks that they would use to poke people to, look at their skin or whatever. And in order to keep a distance, they were poking them from, 2 feet away, 3 feet away, whatever. It's a creepy image. I'm sure you've all seen it.
Yep.
It's ugh.
You'd know it if you saw it.
You'll know it.
Google plague
doctor.
masks. Yeah.
And you'll see it. That's what I did. And yeah. So Lisa asks if it's going to bother Salem.
Duh.
Now she's curious. And Amy says yes.
Yeah.
With her interest in the death and wanting to have experiences, the dead are going to stick around because they're wanted.
Yeah.
So Amy
and not only that, they have somebody that can communicate with them.
Somebody that can see them.
And wants to see them and communicate with them. Why wouldn't they stick around?
Right. Amy tells her that the spirits don't like the family and they don't want them in the house. And they want things to change so that the trapped dead here can leave. Amy asks why they're trapped, and she says there's too many things here. Too many.
Lisa asked why they're trapped. Lisa, right?
Oh, was it Lisa?
Yeah.
Oh, I had Steve did. I don't remember now. I thought I had Steve asked why they're trapped.
Oh, Steve asked. Yeah. Sorry, you said Amy.
Sorry. Steve asked Amy is what I meant.
Yeah.
Steve asked Amy why they're trapped, and she says there's too many things here. Too many dolls. And then we have a voiceover from Amy where she says dolls were first created to house the dead because they are human looking but empty on the inside.
Yep, just like me.
She suggests that some of them are likely stuck in these dolls, and they can move out of the dolls. Oh, no. They can't move out of the dolls. She suggests that some of them are stuck in the dolls. So what she says to Lisa and John is they can move the dolls out or move. But if they move, it would likely happen again as long as they bring those fucking dolls with them.
And of course, Lisa's like, not my dolls.
Yeah. Well, first she says, I feel horrible. That's not what I expected. And then she says, 90% of my life has to do with the doll.
To which I say, oh, so there's only 10% for your husband and child?
Yeah.
Fuck you.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I was not a fan of Lisa in this episode.
No, I wasn't.
Not when you're putting material objects above your family.
No.
Which is what she's doing.
And I noted, there's a couple people that I follow on Instagram that they sell haunted dolls. And there's one woman that I've been following for a long time, and she'll post a doll and she'll say, this is Harvey, and he's a 14-year-old boy, and he was killed in 1800 from the plague or whatever. And then she'll talk about like his spirit. He's really a sweet kid, and he'll like if you leave candies out for him, he'll like whatever. And when I first started following her, I looked at some of her dolls and they were like $50, $60. Yeah, a couple days ago, last week maybe, I looked. She had some upwards of $900.
Wow.
And I'm like, so Lisa can sell those fucking dolls.
Yeah, she could. She could probably sell them all and make enough to pay off her house.
Yeah, I'm sure she would. So Amy is trying to tell her to get rid of them, but she's being really nice about it. And the first time I saw this, I wondered if the husband actually called the dead files in so that somebody would come and tell her to get rid of the fucking doll.
Because she wasn't listening to
No.
anybody.
And I could just see him like inside going,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. And then as soon as they leave, he's like, see, I fucking told you. Those fucking dolls.
But then Lisa decides to get brave and does it's my house.
I'm gonna fight. Well,
you and 5,000.
you're only endangering your daughter because she's the only person being affected by these spirits, not your null ass.
Yeah. How do you feel, Megan?
No, I loved her.
Oh, she's great. So Amy says because of the fascination with the death and the paranormal, they'll linger. Lisa asks if it will get worse, and Amy says yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna get worse.
Yeah. So ways to alleviate it, remove as many dolls as possible and do a thorough as possible. I would say that would be all of them.
As many as possible.
It's
All
not
of
like some of
them?
them are stuck to the floor.
No. Although knowing Lisa, she might have glued them down.
She might have nailed their feet in, which that would piss them off.
Especially if there's a ghost in it. I wonder if the ghost could feel that. If a ghost is trapped in a doll and is it like a voodoo where if you do something to the doll, the ghost can feel
I
it?
would hope not.
I know.
But human live people can feel something when it's happening to a ghost. So I don't know.
If they're stuck
Good
in
questions. Anybody know? Let us know.
I mean, you think if it's a body-like vessel,
Yeah.
theoretically they would feel it as if it was a body.
Maybe.
New fear unlocked.
I hope they don't burn all those dolls.
Oh my God.
She would never.
She would never.
She would never.
She would burn Salem before she burned those dolls.
I know. Oh my God. So, Amy says she really wants them to do that, do a thorough cleaning and cleansing. And Lisa kind of sounds like she's considering it. I'm guessing she is not. But it does say at the end, since the investigation, Lisa has begun selling her doll collection and Salem's paranormal encounters have diminished.
Yes.
They do not use the wording. The activity continues, but
this was like episode 4. They were still finding their footing.
They were.
So yeah. Do you understand now why we're on Lisa? Because it's not that she likes these dolls. It's not that. It's the fact, at least for me, that she seems to put these, like, when they tell her this, her first concern is her dolls and not her child.
Yeah.
At least that's how it was portrayed in the show.
Yeah. That's true. That could be.
And she says 90% of my existence is these dolls.
Yeah.
Like,
she did say that. So.
She did. That you have a whole
That's on her.
ass human child, and you want the dolls over her.
Yeah,
that's what made me annoyed by Lisa. It's not her obsession with the dolls; it's the fact that the obsession with the dolls supersedes everything
else that should be important to know.
Yeah,
yep.
So that's why.
Yep, agreed.
So yeah, that was a good episode.
Yeah,
it was.
Yeah, there was a lot of things I liked about it, especially that Amy got to talk to the little
that
girl.
was my favorite.
That was really
because
cool.
I just love how both Amy and Steve, from what I've seen, I just love how they interact with the kids. Like they treat them like people.
Yeah.
They don't talk down to them.
Right.
But they change their talking so that the kids feel more comfortable.
Yeah. There's a tone, a voice. There's a
gentle.
There's a look in your eye that, like sometimes when Steve's talking to, with a grown-up client, he's like,
he's
harsh. Are you fucking with me?
Yeah.
And
he's very Brooklyn.
Kid,
But he doesn't do that. He doesn't look at a 5-year-old and go, "You fucking with me?
You fucking with me?" Salem, come on.
No.
I promise. So we should do an Allanism. Do you want to throw me a number between 1 and 89?
Okay, 89.
Jackie said, "Go to sleep." And Alan said, pointing to the bookcase, "Where? Out that window? A good fish would break it." That's going to be fun to do a graphic for that one.
That will be.
Good fish would break it.
I do have an episode too.
Okay, good. So, yeah, let's go to our thank you. Thank you, guys. Thanks for joining us.
Yep.
And Megan is going to key up what she's going to do next week.
So I will be doing season 2, episode 10, called Tormented. It originally aired January 25th in 2013. Why did I choose this one?
Why did you choose that one?
It took place in Colorado, and I want to go to Colorado.
Oh, okay.
So
we're going to go see Kenda?
Oh, don't tease.
We love Joe Kenda.
I wanted to honeymoon in Colorado Springs, legit for that purpose.
Just in case you run into him at
Yeah.
the grocery store or something.
Not in case. I was going to take a full day and just walk around. Just stop random people. Do you know Joe Kenda?
Is Joe Kenda here?
Is Joe Kenda? Have you seen him? Is he? Where is he? You know where? Have you seen him? You know. You do? You don't. You know?
Oh,
Yeah.
We love Joe Kenda.
We love
Joe Kenda, if you're listening, which I'm sure you are.
Obviously. And he and his wife, Kathy, are the cutest. I love them.
Yeah. She is a saint.
Hoot. And she's a hoot.
Yeah, she is.
1.5.
Yeah, she is fun.
Oh, sure.
There was a cruise a few years ago where they were on it, and also the guy, the actor,
Carl,
plays him.
His name's Carl.
But he's very cute. Yeah, he was on the cruise too, and I would have loved to go there and meet those guys.
I answer my phone when John calls. This is Megan, because Kenda in the show, Carl answers it. This is Kenda. So I answer.
Does he say go for Kenda?
Oh, he does, and that's how I say. I say go for Megan.
Yeah.
And John goes, "Will you stop?
You stop it."
No, I won't.
No.
All right. Well, thanks everybody.
Yeah, thanks guys.
We'll talk to you soon.
Yep. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to the Activity Continues podcast. We really appreciate you giving us your ears for a bit. Please reach out if you have a suggestion for which episode of the Dead Files we should cover next, or if you have a spooky story you'd like us to share on the show. We can be reached at theactivitycontinues@gmail.com or through our website or any of our socials. Links are all in the description of the show. Please feel free to drop us a note and say hi. And join us next time when the activity continues. The Activity Continues is produced by me, Amy, at Collected Sounds Media, and is part of the independent Collected Sounds podcast network. We are also proud members of the Boo Pod network of super cool podcasts.
Nailed it.